How to Save Money 100 Ways to Live a Frugal Life. Written by Randall Covert. Narrated by Lisa S. Ware. Copyright 2015. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced in any form or by any means without permission in writing from the publisher, Randall Covert. If you like my book, please leave a review on Amazon. Introduction. Making money can be a challenge, but so is spending less than you make. I personally knew someone who had a hole in his pocket. He had saved up about 10,000 euros, about $12,000 back then, but because he didn't watch himself, he spent it all within 6 months or less. Not everyone might go to that extreme. Or maybe you think it's not that much. However, staying within a budget can be tricky. There are lots of ways to save money so that you'll have more in the end and you can pay off that loan, debt, or house. Or you can save up for a dream vacation, beautiful car, or donate a sum to those in this world who are worse off. I have been to countries where people have little possessions. Those memories sometimes remind me of how much I actually have. By buying this book for a few bucks, you can save yourself hundreds of dollars every year. So, what have you got to lose? Find out right now what you can still do better to save more money. You may already be doing some of the things I mentioned in this book, but I bet there are other ideas you haven't thought of yet, and they could help you budget even more. Thanks for considering or buying my book. I hope this will help you live more frugally and save your hard-earned money for your most important wants or needs. Chapter 1. Tips 1 through 10. 1. The RPM meter. One of the first things I thought of when I put this book together is saving yourself some gas by not letting the RPM meter go up too high. I know people who hit the gas pedal as hard as they can when they pull up. They drive an automatic, so that the RPM meter goes all the way up to 7,000. Honestly, I rarely let it get past 2,000 and never past 4,000. Why? Because your engine has to work. If you drive an automatic, it doesn't mean that your car doesn't have to shift gears. You have to leave that poor thing some time to adjust. So when you pull up and see the RPM go up to 2,000, let go of the gas, if possible, then press it again until it goes up to that number. Then let it go for a second, hit it again, etc. This gives the car time to adjust shifting gears and will save you a considerable amount of money on gas if you make it a habit. It's a little harder when you are just entering the freeway and you have to go from 20 to 70 miles within a minute or two, but the technique can still be somewhat applied. 2. Consistent speed. Cruise control is great for long, straight roads. It helps you stay under the speed limit and prevents the RPM meter from going up too high. A consistent speed will save you gas because you don't have to stop and go all the time. With some cars, it's also true that a lower, consistent speed saves gas, so you'll have to weigh off whether you're okay with being 5 minutes late and saving yourself 50 cents on gas that way. 3. Buy it on sale and in season. Stores have sales. So, why buy anything else unless you absolutely need it? I remember we went to a store that was going to close in a month. Everything was 20% off. My wife was pregnant, so we decided to buy an entire box full of hundreds of baby wipes. We were going to buy them in the future anyway, so why not get them now? I mean, 80 cents and $1 is not such a big difference, but $80 and $100 sounds like a more interesting way to save yourself some money, right? We often do the same for canned food, toilet paper, or other basic products we need and that we'll end up using anyway. If you can spend $50 on 100 cans of green beans now, then why not just store them instead of spending $100 for $1 per can because you occasionally add 1 or 2 cans to your cart? Another way to buy things that are on sale is to buy fresh fruits and vegetables when it is the season for it. If you're a frequent grocery shopper, you might already be doing this. Go with the season. If there is a big harvest of apples, they need to get rid of them, and they will lower the prices. And the same goes for every other fruit or vegetable. 4. Unnecessary purchases. Try distinguishing between needs and wants. You don't need to buy drinks in most places in the world since the water in the faucet is potable. Often, you don't need to buy entertainment because there are lots of things to do without media. Try separating those two, and you'll save yourself the regret of buying something that ends up in the back of the house covered in dust. 5. Turn off the water. Make sure you turn off the water as soon as you don't need it. Save yourself gallons over the years by making this a habit, especially hot water. I know there are some areas where they believe washing your hands with warm water kills the bacteria better. I leave it up to you to believe it or not. I don't, but just know that hot water often costs more money, so don't use it if you don't have to. We used to live in an apartment where we paid for electricity and gas, but not for water, so I guess it didn't matter there. But at least it's somewhat better for the environment not to let it go to waste anyway. 6. Learn how to cook. Eating out is often more expensive than cooking at home, except for in Thailand, where I lived for 6 months. Eating out there was really cheap. Just learn how to do it yourself, and then you don't have to pay all those cooks at the restaurants to do it for you and tip the waitresses. 7. Minimize entertainment. Why get cable TV, which can cost you about $500 per year, if you can pay a significant lower amount to Netflix or watch things on YouTube? Renting a DVD twice a week is even cheaper than cable, and you don't get those annoying commercials. When we lived in Costa Rica for a couple of months, we had nothing of the sort, but we had a Kindle with which we downloaded series episodes and TV programs from YouTube. We downloaded hundreds of our favorite series episodes just from YouTube. We lacked nothing, and we paid nothing. Internet is entertainment. You don't need much more if you know the right channels and websites. 8. Wait. Do you want to see a movie? Consider this. You can go to the theater, cinema, and spend about $8, wait until it is for rent and spend $2, or wait until it is on Netflix, Amazon Prime, or something similar, and either watch it for free or only spend a few bucks on there. Waiting pays. Things that are new are the most expensive because vendors know they can never put the price up. That's why they start high and give discounts. I remember I wanted an Xbox 360 game that was $60. I waited for 2 months and it was $30. I waited for 6 months and it was $15. I couldn't wait and I bought it. But a year later, I saw it somewhere for about $8. Waiting pays. 9. Used stuff. Sometimes it's better to buy used stuff, like certain toys, clothes, or furniture. And sometimes, like in the case of appliances or other products, it is better to just get quality so that it lasts longer and you don't have to buy another one anytime soon. Figure out which things last and which ones don't and consider the differences. Sometimes pawn shops and thrift stores offer great deals. 10. Scholarships. Scholarships don't always fall out of the sky. Sometimes you have to put some effort into it and apply for several ones, do research, and do all the paperwork for them. It can save you thousands of dollars if you happen to go to college. One of my family members got so many scholarships that she had money left after paying tuition. Not much, but still, every class was paid for. No college debt. Chapter 2. Tips 11 through 20. 11. Avoid scams. You know those things they try to suck you into by promising that you can make this much money if you only pay that small amount? Scams. Watch out. I'm not very trusting when it comes to money, but even I have been scammed out of my money a couple of times. And members of my own family and in-laws have fallen for those things several times. If you don't understand it, don't do it. If they do it over the phone, be skeptic. If it takes them too much time to explain it, just politely decline. If you don't understand what they get out of it or how they earn money, it means that 1. Their company will go bankrupt because they are not making any profit, or, more likely, 2. They have some hidden fees or other profit generating sums coming in. If they take your credit card number, you just lost control over your own funds. If they say you can get your money back, no questions asked, it's a red flag. That doesn't mean they won't do it, but I asked my money back one time and it took me hours of emails, phone calls, and contacting in other ways to get my money back. If it's a car rental, they will most likely charge you a ton more if you put one scratch on their car. Trust me, it has happened to many people, including myself. So, think about first how badly you need it and if you are willing to take that risk. Be suspicious about pyramid scams. Be suspicious when they say they want you, but they don't even know anything about you. It means they would take anyone. So it means they don't really need you, and you are most likely not getting a lot of value out of it. If the emphasis is more on making money than on the product itself, it's better to approach the matter with more suspicion. 12. Care less about status. I was in Turkey once. Yes, I traveled a lot. When I was there, in Istanbul, our college class went to a high society club where they charged about $10 to $15 per glass of Coke or Sprite or other drink. I asked my teacher, why would anybody pay that kind of money if you can buy a can of the same soda across the street for 50 cents? His answer, status. At first, I didn't get it, but then I saw it. There were lots of rich guys in that club, sometimes showing off for the 1 or 2 women that were with them. But I still thought it was something I would never get into. Spending more money to show off? How does that show anything but the fact that you make unwise decisions in your spending? I get it. You worked hard or smart, and now you want to brag that you have the money to spend it, right? But hey, you would have even more if you just watched your wallet, and you would be able to spend it on something better and more charitable. Nobody has an unlimited amount of money. There are numerous stories of celebrities and millionaires who went broke because they did not control their spending habits. To me, that doesn't show status, but stupidity or immaturity. Please, be wise and prudent and buy what you need for the best price. People don't actually like you when they are impressed with your spending. They just wish they had the same amount of money. It's jealousy, not respect. 13. Shop around. Sometimes the supermarket across the street sells the same products, but for a lower price. If you shop more often, compare prices and never get anything for the higher price. At a certain point, we knew to get our bagels at Walmart, our canned food at Smith's, and our drinks at the dollar store. This might have changed by now, but sometimes we would save ourselves 50 cents per product just by driving 1 block away. It adds up. 14. Price match. There are some stores, like Walmart, that won't ask you a lot of questions when you claim that they have the same product for a better price at a different store. You tell them the ravioli is $1 cheaper at Safeway, and they sell it for $1 cheaper. I hope you don't take advantage of this by lying, but that you honestly compare and then let them know about it. If you do it too often, they might find out about your scam anyway, so only do it if you are sure. Proof helps, like a coupon, picture, or a receipt from the other store. 15. Couponing. Couponing has saved us hundreds of dollars. There are coupons you can find online, in the mail, and at the store. Sometimes you can combine them and get more than 50% or more off. Buy in bulk and you'll have a year's supply for $100 less. 16. Cash back. There are places where you can get gas points, air miles, supermarket bonus points, etc. Save them up and you'll get some free stuff in the end. Just don't go and buy stuff only to get points. With a lot of credit cards, like Amazon credit cards or Discover, there are ways to get a small percentage back. In some places, often in American supermarkets, you can choose the option of cash back. Get the cash back. Receive 1 or a few percent back from the credit card company, and simply go to the bank and put some cash in the bank. This way, you can make $1 every day. 17. Learn how to fix things. If there is a way to figure it out yourself, just look it up on YouTube, online, or in a cheap ebook on Amazon. Then, you don't have to spend a high-hour wage on a professional who does it for you. Men, if your wife doesn't think you are handsome, she can at least find out you're handy. Women, if your husband works full-time and you don't, then here is a way to keep your money in the bank and learn to do some stuff around the house, especially if you have some time left. Figure out what works best for you. 18. Eat healthily. You might be thinking that it is more expensive to eat healthy food. At first, yes, but all the diseases you can get from being overweight, greasy food, or sugar can add up to a lot of expensive doctor visits later in your life. Think long term and save yourself the trouble. 19. Google is your first doctor. Nowadays, you can look up a lot on the internet. That's not to say that there is no need for doctors. They often have good advice, expertise, experience, and the legal right to give you a prescription. But you don't have to go to them for every cold, flu, or little ache. Look it up first. I even went to a doctor one time who had Google with him on his computer and looked up the answer to my question on it. I thought, I could have done that myself. Why did we just pay $75 for someone to look it up on Google? All you have to do is find the right keywords. 20. Have a change jar. A guy took his family to Disneyland by collecting change. That's how much he saved up. The following YouTube video has a religious and family-oriented tone to it, but I just thought it was neat when I was searching online how well the dad saved up. If you skip to minute 5 and 45 seconds, you'll see how he saved up coins to take his family to Disneyland each year for 30 years. That's how much it can add up to. Thousands of dollars. Just search YouTube for A Father Indeed. There are other things that you can save up for, like a nice dinner on a Friday night, a vacation, a car, or anything to help you get that bonus by saving up the pennies and the dimes. It can surprise you how fast it adds up if you just pick up a few pennies here or there during the week. Chapter 3. Tips 21 through 30. 21. Turn off the lights. You can save yourself a lot of money if you make it a habit to turn off the lights behind you when you leave a room in the house. You can also save money by opening the curtains instead of turning on the unnatural lights in the room. Besides, natural light is better for you anyway. 22. Electricity-saving electronics. For example, you can turn down the brightness on the computer screen or other device and turn down the volume. Another example. LED lights may cost more at first, but they last longer and save you 250% on electricity according to statistics I found. CFL lights use a little more, but they are cheaper and produce better lights. So the best thing would be to put LEDs in closets and places that you don't use a lot, and CFLs for the hallway or living room or something. A lot of TVs nowadays have the exact amount of electricity displayed on the product or product box, so you know which one will save you more money in the long run. 23. Grow and can fruit and vegetables. If you have a backyard, you could plant fruit trees, tomatoes, strawberries, etc. I don't think I have to get into a list of all the fruits and vegetables you could grow, because it really depends on if you live in the tundra, the desert, or a tropical swamp area. Every area has its own pros and cons, so figure out which ones work best for your season and climate. There are lots of foods, like peaches, beets, apples, etc., that you can put in a can. If you do it the right way and you seal them tightly, they can stay good for years. Sometimes it's even possible to go to an orchard and ask them if they have any fruit left, usually after the first freeze. 24. Food storage. When you buy food in bulk, you save yourself money and you can store it so that you can eat it later. It's a simple concept, a year supply of food storage, but it can save you money. Think long term. 25. Obey the law. Save yourself the trouble of speeding tickets, being pulled over by police officers, or the possession of illegal drugs, warnings, or tickets for drunk driving, etc. Those things can be a burden on your financial circumstances, and you'll be less of a danger to society. 26. Break or prevent addictions. A pack of cigarettes can cost $7. Alcoholic beverages can be super expensive, and illegal drugs can ruin someone's life. Be smart, don't start. If you have, break those expensive habits now and save yourself the financial burdens of doctor visits, surgery, lung cancer, liver pains, etc. You will live longer, more happily, and more financially free. 27. Pay yourself and save up. If you are running a business, don't invest all the revenue you gain and pay yourself first. Successful entrepreneurs have often stated that they gave themselves at least 10% to pay off their own bills and expenses, and they put a little money aside for savings. The rest of it could be invested if needed. Saving up can be a special challenge. It means you make more than you spend, of course. The reason why it is tempting to spend it is that you might not have a clear goal of what you want to do with it. If you don't have a goal, try to figure it out, and you'll find more fulfillment in putting money aside. 28. Don't spoil your butt. What do I mean by that? Be frugal with toilet paper. Look for the best prices and don't get too much. Actually, I was never that frugal with it until I moved out of my parents' house and had to pay for it myself. Then I realized how expensive toilet paper actually is. In some countries, they don't even have it everywhere. I've been to countries in Asia where they expected me to wipe it with my hands and wash them afterwards. I know, doesn't sound appealing, right? But there was nothing else. See it as a luxury and don't get more than you need. If you have kids, teach them to do the same. 29. Don't turn down free food. In the past few years, I have been to many events, often community or church activities, where they handed out free food or had a potluck where everyone brings one dish. Afterwards, they would ask who wanted to take home the leftovers. I couldn't believe it when I saw students in their 20s refusing to take it home. If anyone needed, it was them, but they didn't care. Maybe it was a feeling of status. We had a lot of savings, so I think we needed it the least, but since nobody else took it, we put the leftovers in bags and took home bags of chili, cheese, rice, lettuce, potatoes, chicken, desserts, cookies, rolls, etc. Sometimes we ate for an entire week off those leftovers and even put a bag of it in the car to give to extended family members, and one for beggars, just in case we would see one at the end of the week. There is nothing wrong with taking home free food. You don't have to fight over it, but you don't have to feel like a hobo when you do. It will save you money, despite of what others may think. If they think it makes you look desperate, poor, or greedy, then they don't get it. All those things add up in the long run. It's just smart thinking. 30. Portion control. In a lot of countries in the world, they eat simple, small meals, and it keeps them going enough to perform their work and responsibilities during the day. You don't need to overeat. Be modest and save the leftovers for later. Chapter 4, Tips 31 through 40. 31. Use a loofah. A what? You know, those foamy things in the shower. You put your shower gel on it and it makes it foam so that you can scrub and use less of the soap or shower gel. This will save you some money on shower gel. 32. Look up the diaper chart. Just look it up on the internet. A diaper chart. It shows all the frugal moms out there exactly what prices and compares sizes and numbers of diapers. You can also consider reusable diapers or cloth diapers so you can wash them instead of throw them away, especially in the first 6 months of a baby or until he or she starts eating real processed foods. This could be a good option to save money. 33. Local blog shops. On Facebook, there are places that are called blog shops. They exist in a lot of cities. It's pretty much like a flea market, but online. We bought a washer and dryer there for only $150 each, almost brand new, a crib for $15, and a gas stove for only $40. Pretty good deals if you ask me. And they all work perfectly. 34. Craigslist. Craigslist is a website where you can put free ads and sell your handmade or secondhand stuff. Make use of it and take a few minutes to sell what you don't need, just to make a few extra bucks. 35. YouTube converter. I think it's great to support your favorite band or singer, but you can get a lot of songs nowadays by looking them up on YouTube. Copy the URL, paste it into the YouTube converter, look it up, and download your favorite songs for free. If you need them on CD, you can burn them legally by copying the tracks to an empty CD you buy in the store. 36. Do research on insurances. Different insurance companies have different rates. Health insurance, for example, can have such a high deductible and monthly payment that it would be wise to calculate or estimate the risk of spending that much. For example, if you pay $200 per month and the deductible is $6,000, then you have to have $6,000 plus 200 times 12 equals $2,400 equals $8,400 in expenses on health care just to break even and get your money out of it. Ask yourself, are you going to spend that much on health care this year? And what is the risk? Then, if you decide to have health insurance, or if it's obligated in your country, you need to figure out how much you are willing to pay to cover certain injuries or health problems. Car insurances are a special department. A car insurance doesn't usually just cover the damage on your car and the car you hit, or hit you, but also a certain amount of hospital costs. We found car insurance to be pretty cheap, and even though we haven't used it, we have a more secure feeling that we won't be financially ruined if something happens in a split of a second on the road. Life insurance companies often talk about big numbers that could be returned to you if someone dies. What I advise you to do is to calculate how much you spend or would spend on life insurance each month. Add them up to an age that you are more likely to die, and then see if it adds up to the same amount they promise you. I am not going to tell you to get it or not get it, but this could be a way to figure out if it is worth it. Sometimes it is best to hire a professional or have an accountant find the most valuable insurance for you. When we bought a house, one of the realtor representatives who was responsible for paperwork said there would have to be a $50 hazard insurance for the house. But when our accountant dug a little deeper, he found one for $25. That will save us $25 each month in the next 30 years, which adds up to $9,000 just because we went to him and asked for help. 37. Learn from mistakes. As we established our own company, we learned that some things are not worth the risk. That's a part of entrepreneurship. Trying out and failing, then learning and moving on. For example, we now learned we will never invest again into a professional review like Kirkus. Ugh, what a waste of money that was. We won't pay too much per day to sign up for a booth, because we have to make it back that day, and we won't buy any more card decals to promote our product. pretty ineffective for our product, we found out. All of those were terrible investments that we didn't get enough or any sales from. Learning from your mistakes is not bad. It's a process. 38. Teach yourself. A family member of mine got out of high school, studied programming every day because he was interested in it, never went to college, and got hired at by a company where he earned $13 per hour for what he loved to do. As for myself, I have earned thousands on drawings, portraits, self-written books, marketing, etc. There is a lot you can learn by doing your own research. You don't have to go to school or take a course for every skill or knowledge. 39. Use a clothesline. Instead of a dryer, which is a luxury, you could consider using a clothesline, which is what they do in a lot of poverty-stricken countries anyway. It's not that much more work, and it will give you some fresh air by getting out of the house. 40. Keep track of your spending. Make a budget and stick to it. Save your receipts if necessary. Then, at the end of the week or the month, you can look back and evaluate your spending patterns. Look at what you could have prevented and where you could have been a better cheapskate. Chapter 5. Tips 41 through 50. 41. University cards. Often, universities have discount cards that cost only about $20 and save you hundreds in the end by getting free stuff. Buy one, get one free deals, etc. at restaurants, car shops, and entertainment centers. Consider buying one and see how much you can save yourself by investing $20 or a little more. 42. Check receipts. Something we always do after groceries is looking at the receipt and thinking about our highest expenses on that receipt. Sometimes we draw the conclusion that we didn't have to buy it anyway. 43. Floss and brush your teeth well. I hate going to the dentist, and not because they are unfriendly people, not even because of the pain, but just because of the insanely high bill I get afterwards. I understand it, kind of, because they have to pay their secretary, their appliances, technology, and their college debt. So it's not like they all overcharge, but that knowledge doesn't lower your bill. So yes, make sure you floss. You brush your teeth regularly and save yourself hundreds or even thousands of dollars by minimizing your visits to the dentist. 44. Calculate into an hourly wage. Whenever you buy something, convert the amount you are spending into what you make per hour. If you make $10 per hour and you buy a $20 kitchen appliance, then realize that you will have to work for another 2 hours to earn it back. Is that worth your time and energy? 45. Bring lunch to work. By making a few simple sandwiches or some other lunch items and bringing them to work, you can save yourself money you would spend on more expensive lunches at work. 46. No impulse buying. Be thoughtful when you spend your money. After all, you can only spend it once. If you get really excited about it, look at it, walk away, and then come back after doing your other groceries and see if you still want or need it. The same thing happens online. Minimize the window or go away from the computer and do something else. If you still want it after a while, then go ahead and buy it. Of course, you cannot do this when they have a countdown or temporary discount, but those things are usually there to pressure people and make them regret it afterwards. I have even seen websites that lie about it. They say, "Hurry before we close the discount deal in 30 minutes," or 5 hours, or any other amount of time. Then the price goes back up to twice the amount. I looked a day or two later, and the discount was still there. They lied to push people into buying it quickly because they know that if they think about it, the customer often forgets about it and they lose a sale. 47. Only use your bank's ATMs. Other banks will sometimes charge you a $3 fee or something similar. If you get money out of your own bank's ATM, you won't have that problem. 48. Transferring foreign currency money. I have a foreign bank account, and I have made the mistake of not transferring my euros to dollars when it was at the highest. You see, when I transferred the money to my American account, I was a little frustrated because the euro was at $1.25, while a few months earlier it was at $1.38. If I would have transferred it earlier, I would have had a lot more money in my American account. I didn't keep a close eye on it, and it cost me big time. 49. Keep an emergency cash fund. This won't literally save you money because you'll have the same amount, but psychologically, you'll feel like you have less. So you're more likely to spend less and budget more. And the other good thing about it is that you always have a certain amount of cash on hand, just in case you really need it. 50. Clearance items. Stores often have clearance items that they are trying to get rid of, so they just give you a certain percentage off on those items. So go check them out, and they might just have something interesting. Chapter 6. Tips 51 through 60. 51. Maintain your vehicle. Fix your windshield fast when it is chipped. If you wait for too long, it can cost hundreds instead of the initial $20 for repairing a simple little crack. Another way is to keep your car engine tuned and your tires inflated to the proper pressure. It can save you up to $100 of gas per year. If you go to a car dealer, make sure you can trust them. There are so many car repair shops who, 1, don't know what they are doing, so they don't fix it well enough and it costs you more money in the end, or 2, overcharge you on purpose with dishonest fees or additional repairs. I've experienced both, and yes, even with the big franchise companies. Just because they are a national firm doesn't mean they are trustworthy on an individual level. 52. Get the lowest airfares. If you know what you are doing, you can get flights for cheaper than if you had no clue. Since I had a minor in university that was called airline economics, I found out that there are several things you can do to lower the price of your tickets. 1. Ticket prices go up and down every day, even every hour. That's because airlines have huge expenses and are trying to squeeze every dollar out of their customers to cover their costs. So anytime the demand for that region or flight goes up, the price goes up. And anytime the demand drops, the price drops. It's as simple as that. But that makes it very unpredictable. For this reason, you can never tell when it's going to change. My advice is to keep checking regularly. 2. Find the cheapest websites, like cheapoair.com or cheaptickets.nl or something similar. Compare them. Never check the same destination from the same computer. Go to the library or a school and do it from different computers. Airlines and ticket websites have a way of tracking down your IP address. When they sense you are interested in a destination, they make the price go up. I once checked a flight from Europe to the United States and saw a ticket for $800. I thought I could get it cheaper, so I checked again later that day, only to see the price skyrocket up to $1,000. Later that evening, it was $1,400. But when I checked from a different computer, it was back at $800. 4. Stay up at night. The demand for tickets is obviously lower when everyone is asleep. I am pretty sure you can get better deals around 2 a.m. than around 2 p.m., so skip your sleep a little and save yourself hundreds of dollars. 5. Book early. I know there are last-minute flights, but those are often unpredictable. Usually, it's cheaper when you book it earlier. Why? Because the demand is still low and they are still trying to sell them. 6. Be willing to have a long layover. We once had a 24-hour layover at one airport. There were no benches or couches, so we took turns napping on the floors. I hated it, but it saved us $400 per person. 7. Be aware of seasons and events. My partner visited me in Europe one time in the summer of the London Olympics. You can imagine that this was the most she ever paid for a ticket. Pretty bad timing. For some countries, the summers are just always more expensive, and for some, the winters, depending on which climate and continent you go to. Figure it out and save yourself money. That is, if you're flexible about when you travel. 8. Try out low-cost carriers. In Europe, there were EasyJet and Ryanair. In the United States, there are other ones, including a website that compares different websites' offers, www.lowcostairlines.com. Either way, by doing some research, you can find some pretty cheap ones, especially if it stays within the continent, because then they can use smaller airplanes. These low-cost carriers can afford to offer you cheap tickets because they often go to smaller airports with less traffic, carry smaller airplanes, and save on space or in-flight magazines, etc. 9. Be prepared to make a quick decision. We once snatched away 2 tickets from the United States to Costa Rica for $400 each. Those were the last 2 for that price, which it showed on the website. The next ones started at $800. Sometimes you just need to have a price range in your head and get it fast if you see anything cheaper, because if you don't, it might be gone, and then you'll regret it later. 53. Refinancing your mortgage. Interest rates fluctuate every year. If the interest rate that year is significantly lower, you can refinance your mortgage to lower interest charges. This will allow you to get better terms, pay less interest, save thousands of dollars, and get more equity in your home more rapidly. This way, you will be able to cover large emergency expenditures more easily. 54. Don't get unneeded space. A lot of people like a large house, but sometimes people buy houses that have unneeded space. One of my uncles literally said one time, "I don't know what we are going to do with that room in the corner yet." Well, he paid for that too. It's a waste of money. Be content with a somewhat smaller apartment or home and you'll save yourself a lot. 55. Try to live close to work. If you work at home, this is ideal. But if you have to drive to work, you can save yourself a few thousand miles and dollars on gas if you don't live too far away from your job. 56. Get the best contractor. Here are a few things you have to know about contractors. Credentials and history. A contractor who has been in business for a longer period is licensed, registered, and has insurance, can work miracles instead of sending you to a deep slope of debt on repairs and housing costs. Bids. Get advice from friends, family, and neighbors. Find out what a house is worth and ask around. If it seems to be a great deal, it might or might not be. Is the contractor cutting corners or using cheaper materials? Or is he just starting a project only to tell you later that there are more costs involved than initially expected? Trust. It's not only about the price. If you will be spending a lot of time with a contractor, then you have to feel comfortable with their character, their methods, communication, and background. If you are not on the same page, you could become frustrated or end up paying more. Contracts. Include every project and workload in the project. Each detail matters. The description, the timetable, the materials, the payments. The more is written down, the less likely arguments will arise, and the sooner they will be solved. Paying method. Don't pay them more than 30% up front. As the contractor completes parts of the project, you can pay more and make him work for it. Make sure you leave at least 10% to yourself until the project is done and according to your satisfaction. Only if you do this, the work will get done faster and more efficiently. 57. Get double-paned glass. The more you insulate your home, the more it will keep in the heat in the winter and the cool in the summer. If you get double-paned glass, you will spend less on energy, since the heat won't go through the windows as fast. 58. Get a blanket. Instead of turning on the heater, you can just put on some extra clothes or cover yourself with a blanket so that you'll be warmer and won't waste extra energy and money. 59. Home energy audit. You can ask your local gas or electric utility for a low-cost or free home energy audit. It will show you inexpensive ways to decrease heating and cooling costs and can save you hundreds of dollars per year. Think long term. 60. Clog the gaps. Make sure your home is resistant to any weather. Caulk homes and cracks, and don't let the heat escape in the winter or the cold air escape in the summer. You could buy materials at your local hardware store, and they may have some helpful advice for you if you ask them. Chapter 7. Tips 61 through 70. 61. Close the doors. I don't know how many times it has happened by now that I heated up a room for 20 minutes until it was finally at the desired temperature, only to have someone else sloppily leave the door open and have the heat flow out of the room within 3 or 4 minutes. Don't heat up places you are not going to be in. You don't have to have your entire house at the wanted temperature, only the rooms you're staying in that day. 62. Iron your own clothes. You can save yourself money by learning how to iron your own clothes instead of dropping them off at the dry cleaner or hiring someone to do it for you. 63. Call for free through the internet. Instead of using up all your phone minutes, you could use Skype, Google Hangout, Magic Jack, and many other free features you can find online. When I do business calls, I always use Magic Jack, especially when I call long distance. 64. Auction websites. On eBay and other auction websites, you can find deals that would usually cost you more money if you got them elsewhere. I know of people who made it a complete business to start bidding and end up buying something they can sell for more and make profit on. When the rest of the country is asleep, in the middle of the night, you might be able to find the best countdown deals. 65. Cell phones. Limit text messages if you pay for them. Be aware of your cell phone expenses and how to reduce them. Get acquainted with peak calling periods, area coverage, and termination charges, roaming and calling plans. 66. Borrow books. Except for this one, of course, because this book is worth buying, right? Instead of purchasing books, just look up your local library and start borrowing. You can save hundreds of dollars per year that way. 67. Take college classes in high school. There are things called concurrent enrollment classes in some states. They let you take college classes in high school if you qualify. As opposed to the thousands of dollars you would spend on tuition in college, now you're only spending several hundreds and getting one or more semesters already done, so you'll be finished earlier when you go to college. 68. Buy gifts when on sale. When you know you are going to be visiting people, having birthdays, weddings, and so on, then why not keep your eyes open during the rest of the year? If you see something suitable for one of those occasions, then buy it on sale and stock it somewhere. My partner saw some stuff that would be good for a birthday and bought 10 of them. Now, every time, if it suits the gender and age, we can use one of those gifts. 69. Make your own gifts. Instead of buying gifts, you can make bread, cookies, soap, candles, and dishes inexpensively. Or like me, you can draw a pencil portrait. These gifts can be just as valuable. Plus, they will add a little value by showing the receiver that you put time, effort, and a personal style into it. 70. Do taxes or get the right guy. If you learn to do your own taxes, you can get more tax returns and save up more by not having to pay someone to do it for you. But if you think the other person may see something you will overlook, then it might be better to find a man or woman who is so experienced that he or she will fill out the forms in a way that you get more out of it. I once was in the process for taxes and couldn't figure it out. I would only get $500 back that way, but then I asked someone for advice who knew more about it. He helped me, and by, honestly, filling it out differently and more completely, I got $1,500 back the next year. Chapter 8. Tips 71 through 80. 71. Customer rewards programs. Rewards cards get you coupons or discounts. Supermarkets, retailers, and even food places or pawn shops often have reward cards that will help you get something for free if you shop there frequently. I have stamp cards and cards when you save up to get a free item after 10 visits or something. It all adds up. 72. Cut useless collections. A lot of people collect something. If you collect something that costs you money, like coins, stamps, sports cards, or even more expensive stuff, then get rid of it, except for if you can sell your collection for more. If it has no value, consider getting a hobby with which you actually learn a skill or get more out of life. 73. Eat breakfast. Breakfast is one of the most important meals of the day because it gives your body a boost and enough energy. If you eat a bigger breakfast, you won't eat as much later and you'll save money and will be more fueled to perform your tasks. 74. Stick to your shopping list. Instead of roaming around like a purposeless little puppy, you could discipline yourself and create a shopping list by writing down what you need exactly. Stick to it and buy nothing else. 75. Repair damaged clothing. Instead of buying more clothes, learn how to sew or otherwise repair damaged clothes. Save dirty clothes with stains that don't come out for chore days like gardening, cleaning, or painting. 76. Give your children attention and time. Some time ago, I babysat a few kids for a few months whose parents both worked during the day. The children lacked attention and were happy that I played with them and gave them of my time. However, the parents tried to make up for the lost time by giving them expensive gifts. When one of them had his birthday, I gave him a present, which he looked at for a few seconds and then quickly said, "Nice! Can we play outside now?" Objects and toys had become useless to them. They didn't care. Most children will appreciate if you do things with them, not just for them. 77. Sleep over instead of going to hotels. When we go to a different area in the state, either for business or leisure, we always try to find a relative or friend to spend the night with. We try not to bother the same person every time and switch off between them, but it can save you $30 to $50 on hotel costs. If you want to thank them, you can buy them a cheap gift instead of spending all that money, just because it is the thought that counts, or offer your home for when they are in the area you live in. 78. Sell your stuff at a yard sale. Do you have one of those homes where there is just so much clutter that you don't know where to start, or some things are covered in dust because they never get used? Sell them! You can have a yard sale, put them on websites or blogs, and try to get rid of them. You'll feel freer and less stressed, and you'll actually get a few bucks in return. 79. Contact club or church members. I mentioned sleepovers at relatives or friends' houses. If you don't know anyone, you could try to contact the head of a club you belong to or a religion that is yours. The minister, bishop, contact person, or administrator could help you find someone you can trust. 80. Drink more water. If you drink more water, you will be healthier, digest food better, and eat less. You will sleep better and be more hydrated. Water is one of the main sources of life and health. Chapter 9. Tips 81 through 90. 81. No more prepackaged meals. Prepackaged meals are for people that don't want to spend time and effort into cooking. They often contain less food for a higher price. It's easy to put them into the microwave and it's fast and pre-made, but it's definitely not cheaper. 82. Savings and checking accounts. If you have a hard time controlling your expenses, then keep an eye on your checking account. In some, or most, banks, it doesn't matter how much you have in your savings account, but if you go below zero in your checking account, they will charge you for it. Keep in mind when you receive and pay checks, get money from the ATM, get a receipt, and how much you have left to spend on groceries. 83. Kindle Unlimited. If you want to read but don't want to buy every single book online, then get Kindle Unlimited for a month or two. It's only about $10 and you can read as many books as you like. Plan it ahead of time so you can spend a lot of time on reading and get it out of your system before you cancel it. 84. Free books and discounts on Amazon. There are many books on Amazon for free or only for 99 cents. On Nook and Smashwords, you can often find permanently free books too, so check those out first. The dollars can add up. 85. Max out yard sales. Going to yard sales or garage sales, most times on Saturdays, can help you get a lot of products for little money. Here are some tips when you go to them to get the most out of what you pay. 1. Buy old towels and use them as rags. Way cheaper than buying actual rags at stores. 2. Pile up children's books for dimes and pennies if you have kids. Even if they aren't old enough yet, you can start stacking them up, and then they will be entertained and educated when they reach that age. 3. Buy collectibles if you think you can sell them for more. I once heard of a guy who visited yard sales only to go to the pawn shop afterwards and make a profit on the stuff he bought, or putting it on eBay or Amazon and scoring big time. Come early and come late. If you visit them early, you might find things that would be gone if you would have come later. You could find good deals and snatch them away before other visitors show up. On the other hand, sometimes they couldn't get rid of their items, so if you come right before they clean up, they will take any offer. There's nothing wrong with visiting the same yard or garage twice. One time really early and one time before they are done. 5. Negotiate. They need to sell it and they know it's junk. So just tell them you will only pay so much for it or that you only have so much in your pocket, if that is true. We have a little heater, for example, that does miracles. It probably costs more than $50 in the store, but we got it for $5 and it works fine. My partner said it was $10, but they accepted $5 instead. 6. Get discounts by buying more. That is just another way to negotiate. So tell them you'll buy 2 t-shirts if they will give you 50% off on the second one. They are not a store, so they don't have fixed prices. Negotiating is often possible. 86. Thermostats. If you install a thermostat in your home, it will allow you to keep track of the temperature and regulate it instead of just turning on the heater or air conditioning because you feel like it. Many thermostats turn off the heater or cooler automatically when reaching a certain temperature, thus decreasing your energy bill by 10 or 20% each year. 87. Reduce the water heater. On the water heater, you can set the temperature low for normal use. When you know you have company over and you need to use the shower more, you can turn it back up again temporarily. This can save you a significant amount of money. 88. Vision board and plan. Talk to your partner about your dreams and set goals for what you really want in life. If you have a goal, you will keep it in mind when you are about to buy something that is of less value. A vision board can be pictures and texts on the wall that will remind you of what your deepest desires are and what you are saving up for. It will leave an impression on your brain that could pop up when you are about to spend money on the wrong or on unnecessary items. 89. Brands are deceitful. Do you think the one brand was better than the other? Yes, sometimes, but not always. I remember I worked in a waffle cookie factory. At first, we saw the wrappers on the conveyor belt of a 99-cent store and brand, but after a few hours, another load came in. Same waffle and cookies, but different wrappers. And these sold for $1.99. Twice the price, but the same product. That opened my eyes. The B brands can sometimes be the same product. At times, it's just a marketing trick or another way for more pricey companies or retailers to pay for their own expenses. 90. Watch out for club memberships. I remember working for a call center that represented a book club. They had people sign up for a discounted book, but the deal was that they automatically signed up for another book each month. Of course, we reassured them constantly that they could cancel at any time that they wanted. It was true. But what was the catch? Most people forget or don't want to take the initiative, so they end up being charged for dozens of books. They were good books, but it was still more money than they could have suspected. Someone I know had a membership at a fitness club. After paying a monthly fee, he tried to cancel his subscription, but because he was a few days too late, he was automatically signed up for the next year. Internet providers often do the same thing, as well as cable companies, magazines, or membership websites. Watch out! Don't sign up if you are going to forget. And if you sign up, don't forget to cancel when you don't need it anymore, and figure out if there is a canceling fee under certain conditions. Chapter 10. Tips 91 through 100, plus bonus tip. 91. Holiday shopping after the holidays. After the holidays, there are always special discounts. I remember the mayhem in the heart of Vancouver, Canada on what they call Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. I was stuck in a huge crowd in one of the shopping malls. It seemed like half the city was there. In a lot of countries, it is that way. Keep your eyes open the few days after holidays. Chocolate Easter eggs taste just as good after Easter, and you can use Christmas items you buy on the 26th or 27th of December for the next year. 92. Is that the best you can do? Ask yourself this question at any place you do a purchase. A lot of times, you can negotiate, find a better price, compare it online, and be proud of yourself that you just spent less than you almost did in the first place. Even second-hand stuff isn't always cheaper. Today, we bought a mirror at a certain thrift shop for $45, only to discover in the evening that they had a nicer, newer one the same size and for the same price at Walmart. We were pretty frustrated for a couple of minutes, knowing that we couldn't return what we just bought and we could have had a better one. 93. Consider a renter. If you have a lot of room left in your house, consider having someone pay part of your mortgage by renting it out. Do some research on the price and the paperwork, and establish rules you want them to keep. Maybe non-smoking, cleaning, noise curfew, deposit, etc. 94. Exchange babysitting with others. Other people with kids will often be willing to babysit your children if you babysit theirs. It doesn't get any simpler than that. 95. Free Wi-Fi. If you contact your neighbor, you could ask to split the Wi-Fi costs and get wireless internet from his router. Another thing you could do is going to certain fast food restaurants with Wi-Fi, as well as church buildings, libraries, or hotels, and use theirs, instead of getting your own for $40 per month or more. It depends on how badly you need it. Calculate how often you need it, and if it is worth the gas or effort to not have an internet connection. 96. Save on laundry. Figure out the cheapest laundromat. We used one that was twice as expensive as the one we found out about a few months later. It could have saved us some money if we had discovered it earlier. Wearing clothes for more than a day can save you some trips or loads too. I am not saying you shouldn't change occasionally, but sometimes you could wear an outfit for a day or two, hang it up to air out, and then wear it again later that week or the next week. 97. Take a hike. It's healthy and it saves you gas. Just walk to the store, the school, etc., if it's close enough to do so. 98. Take a bike. If you want to go somewhere faster, you can ride a bicycle to do it. I grew up in the Netherlands, and I have been riding my bicycle there all my life since I didn't have a car. It saves gas and gets you some exercise. 99. Carpool. If you know anyone else who's going into the same direction that you're going or to the same destination, then organize it and carpool there. It will save you both half the gas. 100. Cut your own hair. Getting a haircut every few months for $15? That can add up, especially if you have a family. So instead, learn how to do it yourself. Then you can cut your spouse's and kids' hair. Bonus 101. Credit card use. Use a credit card as a debit card. If you don't have the money, don't buy it. Pay off credit cards on time. If you are not sure if you can pay it back on time, then resist the temptation. Credit card companies give 1 or more % back on any purchase. So how come they are profitable? They would be losing money, right? Wrong. Credit card companies simply exist because a lot of people don't pay them off on time. And that's when they charge huge sums of interest, up to 15 or sometimes 20%. Imagine you can't pay them on time and you owe them $1,000. That's $150 or $200 you just lost. It's not worth it. If you can't control yourself, just cancel your credit cards altogether and go to the good old debit bank cards. This has been How to Save Money: 100 Ways to Live a Frugal Life, written by Randall Covert, narrated by Lisa S. Ware. Copyright 2018 by Randall Covert. Production copyright by Randall Covert.
Passive income. Online income streams for short-term and long-term financial success. Written by Peter Gathaway. Narrated by Thomas Cassidy. Chapter 1. Benefits of making money online. I have to admit that I was the one who did little side jobs in his hometown for a long time. I didn't know what was out there, and I thought making money online was only possible if you waste tons of time for little money in return. I thought that you had to know everything about the complicated Google search engine or have some big company with a huge brand. Well, all of those things aren't true. Making money online isn't just simple, it's fast too. You can do something today and make money right away with it. Some things are active income, meaning that you provide a service or product every time someone pays you for it. And others are passive income, meaning that you put something out there, a blog, a website, an ebook, a video, and that it starts making money for you. The best parts about making money online? Here they are. A. Flexibility in time. You get to decide your own times. B. Motivation. You don't just get paid per hour for sitting around and staring at the clock. Hard work and smart work actually pays off. C. Endless opportunities. You can always do more, make more money, etc. D. Flexibility in location. You can work anywhere where the internet is available. This could be from home, from the McDonald's, or from a hotel room next to a Caribbean beach. E. No education needed, except for your market research and the tricks of the trade. No employer is going to ask for references or degree. If you get an assignment, it's all about results. You'll need certain skills, of course, like writing, speaking in front of a camera, a little bit of knowledge about Windows or other programs. But it all depends. You don't have to invest thousands of dollars into a college. F. No getting bossed around by an employer. G. Little startup costs. All you need is Wi-Fi, a few computer programs, and a laptop. H. A steady income, if you know what you're doing. I. Opportunities to always learn more. Those are the best I can come up with, but to me, those are enough. I hated jobs where I had nothing to do, jobs where people said, hard work doesn't pay off, only working for a long time. I hated it when people abused their authority or when I had to suck up to someone to get a raise. I didn't like catching a train, or missing it, to get to work on time. I didn't like leaving the comfort of my home or having to go to work when I had slept badly that night. I hated the limited opportunity. If I wanted to make more by working on Saturdays or in the evenings, there was nothing. So, now that I am converted to the system, I want to hear of nothing else. Making money online rocks. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I am making more money than I ever did before. Since you're reading this book and will want to know about how to do that too, I assume, and I hope I can give you some good ideas. After that, it's all up to you. Chapter 2. Things to keep in mind. When I first started working at home, I realized how every minute of work could be turned into $1 or €1. I had several people who gave me assignments and was discovered by others on the internet who occasionally approached me as well. When I found out how to make passive income with some other methods, it blew my mind. I worked my butt off and the results were showing. However, there are some common pitfalls that are laid out before those who work at home, on the computer, or online. Don't underestimate these. We all deal with these from time to time, especially in this digital age. A. Don't stress out. When I saw the opportunity of creating more content and making money with it, I set such high goals for myself that I worked 11 or 12 hours a day sometimes, and it would stress me out. Setting high goals is good, but don't tell yourself all the time that every minute not making money or creating more content is a minute wasted. You need time for yourself too, and for your friends, your family, and maybe even your hobbies. Taking time off is an essential part of being self-employed. B. Don't be lazy. This seems to contradict the former point, but there is a balance to be found in everything. If you allow yourself to be lazy, then you won't get as far. You won't make as much. You have to be strict to yourself, set high enough goals, and realize that some of the most important characteristics of someone who is self-employed are self-discipline and determination. In order to do this, it's good to listen to motivational messages on YouTube, create a vision board, or keep reminding yourself why it's so important to achieve your goals. This will give you fulfillment and pride in your work. C. Don't get distracted. One of the most important things when you're not working for an hourly wage is getting more done, so distractions can greatly diminish your income. I'm talking about TV shows, YouTube videos, social media nonsense, or just daydreaming or being spaced out. Stay focused. Don't check your mail or your Facebook more than necessary. Do what needs to be done. D. Add value. Don't sell or create junk. Make sure you have something that may be of use to people, like something entertaining or new information, tricks or tips. Think long term. E. Get a fast connection and a fast computer. I don't know how many times I've been frustrated because there was so much to do and I just had to wait for the computer to load up or start up something. Speed is everything. F. Try to find something fun or interesting. I know, you can't always do what you're passionate about, but sometimes finding more passion in what works anyway can get you a lot farther. I quickly discovered, for instance, that selling things on eBay was just not my thing, and that I hated putting recipe books together. But I loved writing about certain non-fiction and fiction topics, and I have a passion for languages, which came in handy when I did translation work. Yep, those are it. I don't think we need to make it more complicated than this. Needless to say, that I stepped into each and every one of these common pitfalls. Don't let it happen to you. Find a balance in your time, create good content, stay focused, work hard, and find whatever it is that suits your personality. That's the main point of it. So after all this mindset mumbo-jumbo, let's get practical and look at some methods and tips that will help you along the way. Chapter 3. A list of methods, tricks, and websites. I'm going to give you some of the best known ways to make money online. Some of them are passive, others active income. Either way, they can support you without you having to go anywhere and just using the internet as your source of income. Ghostwriter. I know a girl who makes about $1,200 per month writing fiction books for book marketers. A ghostwriter is an author or writer who will write a book for someone else. It's active income, meaning that you put in the work once, receive one paycheck, and then have to put more work into it again. The risk is low, and your time won't be wasted because you can count on a paycheck per word, page, or hour. You can keep yourself emotionally distant, you will get paid for practicing writing skills, and you don't have to do the marketing side or invest, except for time. Examples of ghostwriter websites are www.elancer.com, www.odesk.com, www.fiverr.com, Fiverr with 2 R's, www.upwork.com. A few tips on dealing with the ones who send you the contract. Number 1. Discuss the cover credit. Number 2. Termination process. What if one of you wants to back out? Number 3. Payment and payment method. Establish your boundaries before you negotiate. Number 4. Clarity. Will the publisher provide notes, data, or research material? What are the criteria? ACX narrator. I have worked with a few hundred narrators on ACX already, and a lot of them are making profit, active or passive income, from the books that I wrote. How it works is simple. When you go to www.acx.com, which belongs to Amazon, you can choose to be a narrator, or, how they call it, a producer. You either put your profile out there and authors or publishers will contact you, but a more likely scenario is that you keep your eyes open for books you would like to narrate. You do a short audition, they make you an offer, and you can start reading their book and finishing up the files. Some tips ACX provides if you want to become a narrator can be found on this link: http://audible-acx.custhelp.com/. You can click on a series of YouTube videos that will tell you how to set up your home studio to start recording, edit the files, and tips and tricks that will help you become a better narrator. Seriously, I've heard auditions of narrators that were really bad, and others that were so impressive that I hired them again and again for new books I published. If you have a good voice, good tone, and some interesting ways to explain or do voices, you could be surprised how much money you can make with this. Udemy videos. Just go to www.udemy.com and discover the possibilities. You can create a series of videos and make it a course. This can be a language you're good at, how to make money online, like this book, a skill, a marketing trick, a musical instrument, some computer program you mastered, or anything that you want to teach another. It can be a course of 1 hour or 20 hours, and you can charge anywhere from $10 to $500 or more. When people sign up for your course, you get 50% of what they pay. Udemy gets the other 50%. This means you can make thousands of dollars of passive income if you just find the right niche and pick a topic that will promote itself. Udemy itself gives some tips about how to create a course that rocks. https://udemy.com/marketing-3-marketing-you-the-instructor/. Fiverr, 2 R's. Fiverr.com, 2 R's, maintains the principle that everything should be $5. But everybody who has those $5 gigs you can buy also has upgrades of, if you also want me to do this or that, then the price will be $10, $20, or $30. I once spent a few $100s in a few weeks on Fiverr2rs.com on promotional services, and although I made most of my money back elsewhere, the point was that those people on Fiverr made all that money I spent on them. Here are just a few examples of what you could do on Fiverr2rs. Design logos, write texts, translate texts, help people with SEO or search engine optimization, advertise, write reviews, programming, drawing, video design, consulting, putting presentations together, send invitations, write or publish press releases, marketing on social media, voiceovers and sound effects, hold a sign, e-commerce, recipes, provide valuable advice, and much more. I even heard of publishers who published their books on Amazon, but they also had a Fiverr gig that said something like, "Get my book about," insert topic, for only $5, and made a ton of money through this website with their books. Fiverr, like a lot of other websites, works with reviews, with keyword ranking, and with recommendations and sales. So setting up a reliable profile picture, getting some positive reviews, and making sure the keywords and the video match the customer's demands are crucial for your Fiverr business. Artist. If you're a photographer, use your passion to take pictures of random objects around the house, yourself, or anything you think people might search for. Sign up for iStock Photo and put as many relevant keywords in every image as possible to rank for keywords, and you can collect royalties if people buy your trademarked photo. You can also sell paintings and drawings or other artwork on eBay, Craigslist, or Etsy. There have been people on DeviantArt.com who earned a lot of money because they put their art there and people ordered prints for which they received royalties. Again, you'll need keywords, a following, and some great quality work. Editor. On websites like Elancer, Odesk, Fiverr, and other freelance websites, you can offer your editing services, if you're good with grammar and spelling, to writers and website managers. I have had authors approach me on blogs through freelance services, and sometimes a big company needed my skills. Book publisher. This has definitely been one of the best ways for me to make money so far. Self-publishing books has become a multi-billion-dollar business, and I am sure that with the right knowledge and determination, you too, like myself, can have a piece of that gigantic pie. Here are some standard things you need to keep in mind when publishing books. Number 1. Although there are other retailers out there and they may work, Amazon is probably the biggest one. A lot of people go to Amazon to buy stuff, including books, and uploading your files there is super easy. Go to www.kdp.com or to www.createspace.com and to www.acx.com and create a multiple three-way stream of passive income from each book you publish. Number 2. The right cover, title, and description are crucial. Categories and keywords add to sales as well. A lot of authors publish books with titles that aren't being searched for on Amazon. Do your research by looking at what pops up in the search bar in Amazon, how well competing books are ranking, and what reviewers say about them. Number 3. Use free promos to boost ranking for keywords, permanently free books, by making it free on www.draft2digital.com, that's 2 number 2, not TO, and other promotional tricks to get more visibility. Number 4. Pick niche markets. High demand and low competition. Occasionally, this may require you to spend a few more minutes searching for the right market. Number 5. Get some reviews. You don't need a lot, but just a few positive ones. I've noticed that some books with only 2 reviews sell better than some books with 50 reviews. Why? Because of keywords, sales, promos, categories, etc. Reviews don't guarantee sales, but they make the book look better in the eyes of the customer. Number 6. Build email lists and cross-promote books. Ask for reviews in your books. These are just some simple tips that can get you going. I have applied all these strategies and am now making more than $5,000 per month passive income with about 150 to 200 short books. There is so much to write about, but you have to market them well. For example, if you write 100 pages on a certain topic, why not split up that information into 3 books and then bundle them in one? That way, you'll have 4 books to compete with 4 different keywords instead of just one book. It's about spreading the opportunities. Fiction topics could include thrillers, mystery, romance, fantasy, suspense, action, horror, Christian fiction, or science fiction. Non-fiction topics could include things you're good at, like art, computer programs, religion, spirituality, dieting, recipes, tips and tricks, advice, relationships, families, parenting, addictions, music, languages, how-to books, autobiographies, traveling, do-it-yourself, motivation, quotes, business, marketing, social media, and much more. You would be surprised how much knowledge you have that others don't. Or look something up on the internet, which you can put into a short ebook. How was I able to write more than 150 books in 1 year? Because I worked hard and made the books relatively short. Most were between 25 and 50 pages. Bundled series into one, avoided the perfectionist attitude, and just got things done. Goodreads giveaways. 2 things I really like about Goodreads. Number 1. You can do a free book giveaway, which gets more eyeballs on your books and helps you get your name out there. If you do a book review, make sure you A. Don't do more than 1 free paperback book. More books doesn't always help, and just 1 book lowers the cost. If you want to do it again, then just start another book giveaway. B. You keep the book giveaway short. Why? Because there are 4 categories, and 2 of them are almost impossible to get into. Most requested and popular authors are hard, so if you do a short giveaway, you'll make sure your book appears more often in the categories ending soon and recently listed. Those are just a couple of quick tips to make it more effective. Another thing you can do is add the people who sign up for your giveaway as a friend. You can only add 15 friends per day, but all these people you can send a quick message with something valuable, like a PDF version of your book, in exchange for a review on Amazon. 2. You can sign up for free giveaways. All you have to do is go down the list, right mouse click, open in new tab, and have about 9 or 10 opened up in a few minutes, depending on the speed of your computer. Sign up for them and move on. You can sign up for hundreds of free book giveaways in just an hour, and since most giveaways only have a few hundred participants anyway, you'll be guaranteed that you win some. I did this for a few days and won 7 or 8 paperback books. You can read them if you like, but you can also resell them on Amazon, eBay, or to your local second-hand bookstore. Quick bucks for just a bunch of clicks. That's what it is. Blogs. 99% of blogs fail to create a decent stream of income. Blogging is more of a hobby than a profession, and most bloggers struggle. So, don't see this as one of the best ways, especially if you're just starting. It can take time. A long time to start making money from a blog. Still, there are some people out there who have made a lot of money. Creating a blog can be done with www.blogger.com or www.wordpress.com. And it's not that hard once you start getting the hang of it. I have a few blogs myself. Here are some tips to make money from blogs. A. Write about something you're passionate about. If you can get a number of people who are loyal and read your posts, ads could come to your blog page, and that's how you can make money. B. Write articles that spark people's interest. Eye-catching titles could include 10 ways to ... or the 20 most surprising facts about ... or don't make this mistake or something similar. C. Include images and/or videos. D. Post your stuff on Pinterest, Google+, and Facebook with a link to your blog. If you have videos, post them on YouTube with a link to your blog. E. Promise something in return as a reward for subscribing, like a free PDF file of a book you wrote, a starter's kit to accomplish something, or a prize. F. Have a lot of patience. It can take years to build an audience. Forums. There are a lot of forums on the internet that need moderators. If you become the master or co-master of one of those forums, you can make sure the conversations stay civil without spam, name-calling, or explicit content. You can get paid for being a moderator. There are even forum moderators who will pay you 10 cents or 25 cents per post to keep their forums going, so you can get paid for posting on forums too. Programming. From website design to creating drop-down menus, editing web content and managing accounts or ordering systems, there are tons of programming jobs that allow you to perform freelance projects for companies. You don't always have to be a full-time worker or have a degree. You just need the skills, a lot of which you can learn online anyway if you're into that. You could create your own search engine. Bing and Google are the biggest, of course, but they allow you to use their API to create niche-oriented custom search engines. If you offer puzzles and nice designs, prizes and other incentives, you can make money by collecting ads revenue. Selling domains works as well, especially if you know what people are looking for. You can get great deals from Digital Point, DN Forum, and SitePoint, and sell them for the highest bidder, or sell them to markets in your niche. eBay. Second-hand stuff from your garage can be sold, but there is an entire science to finding out what sells and buying them for cheap and reselling them. Buying things at pawn shops, thrift stores, or at yard sales or garage sales can work in your favor, as well as getting cheap things from Amazon, Craigslist, or eBay itself. Games. If you are a gaming enthusiast, there are ways to make money online. You could, for example, sell game money for actual money. Most games on the internet have some kind of virtual currency. Use gaming skills to build up something big and then sell it for real money. Some games even have an in-game real estate thing going on, like Second Life, where you can buy and sell land. Some of these games allow you to open in-game stores and sell merchandise like t-shirts, pets, and fan stuff. There are ways to become a game tester as well. A lot of game developers are looking for experienced gamers who will accept payment for a test drive. Offer the biggest companies and offer your services. That's one way to do it. Gaming tournaments are hard to get into, but if you're an avid gamer and consider yourself an expert, you could actually win money with these tournaments. Game developers host these in order to promote their video games. They offer cash prizes to champions. Google Maps data. Hours of operation and images of businesses can help you make money through Google Maps. They actually pay people to put these businesses on the map because when people are looking for them, it's cheap advertising. Backgrounds and templates. A lot of scrapbookers go online nowadays. There are ways to make money selling templates for those hobby enthusiasts. If your designs are original enough, you can sell social media backgrounds for websites such as Twitter, Blogger, YouTube, or Facebook. Write articles. Marketers and companies need people to write content for and market their services and products. All you need to do is some research and spin it in a way that it sounds good. Then it's a trick to get it to the right company, or choosing the right website and the right topic to sell the content to. Here are some examples of websites you could write articles for. Cracked.com, Absolute Right, Pro Blogger, and Media Bistro. Affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing basically means that you get a commission for every time someone buys someone else's product through your website or link. It's a passive income stream once you set it up, and the business runs by itself. What it comes down to is that you rank your site for keywords, become visible, and then refer people to someone else's website. Usually the startup costs are about $100 for domain names, hosting, and email marketing websites and squeeze pages. But if you can pull it off, you can make a lot back. Here are some examples of affiliate marketing opportunities. Amazon affiliates. Look it up. Many people have been successful with setting up a website, getting traffic, and then linking it to an Amazon product, either someone else's or your own. Of course, you get a small percentage of the revenue when someone clicks on your website, the link to Amazon, and then buys the product. ClickBank. Very popular, used by many internet marketers. Warrior Forum. This website encourages and informs web-based entrepreneurs. It also provides opportunities to sell information products. JV Network. Thousands of products are being sold here, and there are tons of affiliate links to them. JV Notify. This website provides a list of hot, upcoming marketing products. Other helpful sites are www.shareasale.com, www.leadpages.com, www.optimizepress.com, www.aweb.com. Creating apps. The only catch with this is that you need knowledge of coding languages and technical skills. Therefore, it's not recommended for beginners. But it can be worth it if you want to pursue that venue and go through the various software trainings. It can cost about $1,000 to start up, but some developers have become millionaires. Just think about how much money the inventor or manager of Plants vs. Zombies or Angry Birds or Fruit Ninja is making. One of the benefits, once you have it started, is that it's passive income. Each time someone downloads your app, you get money, and you don't have to do anything for it. One of the programs that provide training is the Foundation and App Empire. Another one is App Empire 2.0, and then there is Google Play Developer. Those are just some examples to get started. A lot of times app developers go to the iTunes store and see what niches are hot. YouTube. YouTube is not one of the easiest ways to make a quick buck. Sure, some people break through the system in a short period of time, but for most it takes years and dozens or even hundreds of videos to get somewhere. The same principle applies to a lot of other marketing websites. Type something in the search bar, see what comes up, what people are looking for, and check out how many results there are. Doing some research can help a lot. The best way, and that's always the hard part, is to get noticed. Getting noticed relies on a combination of not only keywords, but also advertisements you could invest into and the content you provide. If you have something that either entertains or helps people, you could build up a following, and the ones who follow your channel will become loyal to your brand and content. Some have become millionaires with videos about the popular video game Minecraft, for instance. while others, like Lindsay Sterling or JP Sears, have built up an entertaining or humorous channel with thousands of followers. One of the ways to make money from YouTube is by getting enough views to have companies sponsor you with ads. It's all about getting views, likes, and followers. At first, just focus on high-quality videos at first. The back end, the links to your ebooks, your email lists, etc. are the things that can make you money. Don't try to sell immediately, but provide some real value. Once you're bigger, you can try to upscale and just put more of them out there. It's not only about quality, but also about quantity. YouTube videos can be produced in a few minutes, and if you have something interesting to say, some people put 3 videos per day on YouTube. And if you kind of know what you're doing, you can make a lot more by just flooding YouTube with good content. Advertisers are bidding on related videos, and it's all about selecting the right topics for your videos. If advertisers aren't interested, it's not going to make you a lot of money. Those are just some of the basics. Amazon FBA. With a few $100s invested into a product, you can order in bulk from www.alibaba.com. Low prices for high-quality products, often from China. You can buy an inventory and have it be shipped to one of Amazon's FBA centers, Fulfillment by Amazon. There are lots of tips and techniques used by experienced entrepreneurs who simply order it after doing keyword research about demand and competition on Amazon, create a brand or order some label stickers, put them on the products, and sell them for more. Training about Amazon FBA can be found at the Amazon Selling Machine, www.amazing.com. Amazon Central is the place where you can figure out how to do business this way. If you're looking for a logo or design for your brand, 99 Designs is a good one. And the FBA Toolkit can help you select the right markets based on competition and prices. Chapter 4. Things that have worked for me. In this chapter, I am going to tell you which things have helped me make money online. Some of them turned out to be more profitable than others, but all of them have added to my income. Write Amazon books. This has been one of the most profitable and fastest methods for me. Obviously, this book is one of the many books I've written, but each of them adds a little bit of passive income. Like I mentioned, you can publish your books on KDP, CreateSpace, and ACX and create a 3-way passive income. Cartoon drawing. I have gotten several quick assignments from people who wanted a cartoon, either for fun or for their company. But the best thing that I did was being found by a child daycare center who developed their own brand and had me draw board games, comics, website images, card games, and much more. This could be considered as a regular job, but I was able to do it all at home and communicate by email, making somewhere between $30,000 to $50,000. Most times, however, it's just a single assignment from the occasional interested person. I'm not going to lie, making money with cartoons is hard. Translating. I speak 2 languages, so I was able to translate accurately as a freelancer and eventually as a full-time employee for a few years. They sent their assignments to me through email and have provided me a huge income that has kept us alive for years. Now that I am not a full-timer at their company anymore, I just get the occasional assignment when they're too busy, but it still helps me to make a few $1,000s every few months. Again, finding a company that will keep you around for that long may be hard, But if you put yourself out there and take freelance assignments, you may get into that world and become very successful. Editing. Of course, I edited for the same company I translated for, but I have also been approached by authors and publishers, by bloggers and people in the community. Editing, if you are good at English, can be a pretty fun thing to do. I loved it, and occasionally it helps me to make a few extra bucks. Portrait drawing. I have drawn thousands of portraits after doing Art Academy for a year. Again, the good thing about this is, you can have someone contact you through Craigslist, eBay, Etsy, or some other marketplace or website, and perform the work at home. Then you just wait for approval and send the portrait to the one who paid you. Selling second-hand stuff. You can actually sell some stuff from the thrift store, from your own home, or the pawn shop for good money if you know what you're doing. Again, popular websites are Craigslist, eBay, and Amazon. When I lived in Holland, Marktplaats.nl was the main one, and so every area or country has its own. Now that I live in the USA, there are city blog shops on Facebook that offer the same opportunity. Go ahead and check out if there is a second-hand blog shop page for your city on Facebook. We also got a lot of good deals by buying a second-hand fridge, TV, and all kinds of clothes, items, etc. Illustrating books. I haven't had many people approach me for this, but sometimes an author is just looking for an illustrator. If you have your images on boards on Pinterest, Fiverr gigs, freelance websites, Facebook pages, or elsewhere, you may get noticed sometimes. I don't know how to make this a full-time income, or else I would, but it has helped me as a tiny side job. Writing articles. I still do that. I get paid $5 per page, and since I type pretty fast, it's a decent little extra income. Like I mentioned in the previous chapter, there are plenty of websites that accept quality articles. Writing reviews. For free stuff, not money. If you write a lot of helpful reviews, you can get into the top 10,000 reviewers on Amazon. A lot of people will mark your reviews as helpful, which helps you achieve that. And when you do, and if you have your email address in your profile, companies will contact you and ask for your honest review in exchange for a free product. I am in that list myself, and I have a whole stack of free stuff in the storage room. Headphones, iPad cases, barbecue things, toys, books, kitchen appliances, etc. Reviews are critical to sales, and these companies are perfectly willing to send you a free sample, hoping that you'll praise their product and recommend it to others. This way, you can either enjoy all the free stuff, give them to your friends as gifts, or sell them online for money. Design logos. I have to admit that I hated doing this. People who order logos are so picky. They don't always know what looks best, so they change their minds constantly, and it all has to be just perfect. I think that what I hated most was having to change it all the time and not getting enough payment. My advice: charge them per hour, and charge a lot more than the minimum you have in mind. Don't underestimate the frustrating process of communication and satisfying the one who gives you the assignment. If people just want something quick and cheap, however, you can do it via www.fiverr.com, 2 R's. Other websites where you can find jobs in this are www.freelancer.com, www.outsource.com, and www.upwork.com. Chapter 5. Avoiding Scams. There are a lot of golden promises out there, and you shouldn't just believe anything. When I say that I am making a certain amount of money with the things I do, that depends on a lot of aspects. With my online jobs, it had to do with my set of skills. With my ebooks, my profits were related to keywords, marketing and content, and also a little luck. I usually stay away from definite promises, because when you cannot deliver, it ticks people off. But there are those who will promise you this or that and not live up to it. They are there to make a quick buck or disappear when things get serious. Here are some tips. Too good to be true. There are websites that ask you to pay for something and then promise a high-paying job in return. Always calculate the risk. I hope you got a lot out of my book, but if you didn't, then all you lost was a few bucks. But if you bump into some course or business that requires a $100 investment or more, then you really need to double-check if it's trustworthy and if it adds value. Knowledge you didn't already have, or opportunities and links to other ways to make more money. Credit card info. Be very careful with giving away your credit card information. My wife and I have fallen for a few of these scams. Sometimes they're not even considered scams, but legit companies. But all the small letters at the bottom of the contract tell you that they can charge you whatever they want if they think it's fair. For this reason, I am not a big fan of credit cards in the first place. I like bank transfers better, with a 4-digit code and everything else to make it safer. Personal information. There have been reports of abuse, stalking, assaults, theft, fraud and hacking online. Be careful not to give anyone your personal information if you don't know what they're going to do with it. Addresses, phone numbers, medical background and other details are not to be given to the public or posted on social media. Nigerian scams. Yes, it's an official term, a Nigerian scam. Why? Because the majority of scammers online were working for companies or individuals in Nigeria. Usually, it's someone who is either A, crying out for financial help, convincing you that he or she is a refugee and needs a small amount to escape or fight against the hardships in his or her war-torn country, or B, telling you that if you only give them your bank information or a small amount, that they will give you thousands or millions of dollars back because of some small problem with the bank in their country. They always have a good way of explaining it to make it sound believable, but as mentioned earlier, they are too good to be true. Don't fall for them. Here is an example of such a scam. Dear beloved friend, I know this message will come to you as a surprise, but permit me of my desire to go into business relationship with you. I am Miss Naomi Suraguba, a daughter to late al-Badari Suraguba of Libya, whom was murdered during the recent civil war in Libya in March 2011. Before his death, my late father was a strong supporter and a member of late Muammar Gaddafi government in Tripoli. Meanwhile, before the incident, my late father came to Cotonou, Benin Republic with the sum of US dollars 200,000, or 4.2 million, which he deposited in a bank here in Cotonou, Benin Republic, West Africa for safekeeping. I am here seeking for an avenue to transfer the fund to you in only your reliable and trustworthy person to investment the fund. I am here in Benin Republic because of the death of my parents, and I want you to help me transfer the fund into your bank account for investment purpose. Please, I will offer you 20% of the total sum of USD 4.2 million for your assistance. Please. I wish to transfer the fund urgently without delay into your account, and also wish to relocate to your country due to the poor condition in Benin as to enable me continue my education as I was a medical student before the sudden death of my parents. Reply to my alternative email, missnaomisuraguba2@hotmail.com. Your immediate response would be appreciated. Remain blessed, Miss Naomi Suraguba. People you don't know. Don't send people you don't know. You may think you know them, but if they haven't shown their face, have no webcam, or are suspicious in any other way, just forget about it. Do research. I recently invested into an online program that I spent $150 on. A few days later, I discovered I could have gotten the same program for $100. I felt scammed, and after a while, the program stopped working too. The only way to contact the owner of the program was by submitting a ticket, which was filling out a form on his website. It took a week or two every time for his secretary to get back to me, and all the time the program wasn't working. Again, he would fix it, and a few days later some other problem arose. After some time I started saying I wanted my money back, because obviously the program wasn't helping me in my business. And boy, was that hard to do. I got questions as to why I wanted my money back, days without a reply, all kinds of recommendations, etc., etc. And all that when it said on his website something like, "If you don't like it, I'll give you your money back within 90 days. No questions asked." Later I found a program with similar apps and functionality and better results for only $19. Did I get my money back? Yes. But what a hassle. So, my advice? Don't just click on buy now if you don't know enough about it. Don't fall for tricks like one-time offer, get it now before the price goes up. They need to give you time to make a decision, and if they don't, well then, just don't get it. Not scams, but low value. I've invested some money here and there, and making smart investments is the whole trick of any business. So this counts for your online business as well. Here are a few examples of investments that didn't help me much. I once invested to have my book displayed at the New York BEA Book Fair, one of the biggest book fairs in the USA, for about $300. And I was sure that big publisher would see it, a lot of people would love it, and my name would get out there. The results? No sales. Why? Because people probably just picked up the book, looked at it, said, "That's nice," and then forgot about it. People don't take initiative a lot of times. I doubt that anyone looked up the title online and considered buying a copy, and if they did, they got scared after a few clicks. I once got a Kirkus review who were supposed to be professional reviewers for $425. This would supposedly get my books into libraries, in front of traditional publishing companies, and even movie producers. That's what they claimed on their website. The results? 0 sales. Why? Because getting it in front of those people apparently meant that the review would be posted somewhere between the tens of thousands of reviews on their website, just like a message getting lost on Facebook without anyone noticing it. I once invested about $30 in a PDF file that would tell me how to make money with coloring books for adults, a big trend nowadays. I looked at how well some of those books did on Amazon and decided to get the little course. Well, the most important thing I got out of it was this website. http://colormandala.com/main/design. This website helps you make mandalas, which is pretty nice. I produced some books, but the results were meager. Why? Because the course never told me how to market them effectively, where to get reviews, or how to rank or get sales in the first place. Since coloring books are frowned upon on Kindle, I couldn't put them on a free promo, so ranking was hard. Did I get some value out of it? A little, but not too much. Good stuff. Fortunately, there are a lot of interesting tips and books out there. One of the best books on book marketing, for instance, that I found was Reader Magnets, a free book on building your email list through ebook marketing. Other interesting things I found were YouTube videos from Project Life Mastery, Udemy courses on making money online, www.udemy.com, and the occasional book about making passive income on Amazon. There is plenty of good information out there, and if you see through the things that you already know and try to find the best information through the clouds, your knowledge will expand and you can create an empire of apps, products, books, or websites that can sustain you throughout your life. Chapter 6. Picking what works. It's hard and too time-consuming to make money online with all the methods and websites I've mentioned. Moreover, it's better to go into one direction and focus all your efforts on something you're good at. I usually use a shotgun strategy in the beginning, trying different things out, and once I've discovered something that works better than the other methods, I focus on that entirely, which is the sniper method. When you pick your thing on the internet, consider asking yourself the following questions. A. Are you a risk taker? Do you rather put money into your business or time? B. Are you at least familiar with what you're selling or doing? C. What is your background? What is one of the easiest ways for you to make money? D. Which resources, financial and other, do you have to start up? E. How much competition is there? F. How much demand is there? G. Is it sustainable? H. Is it active or passive income? I. Is it worth my time? J. Has it been tested enough? K. How much work does it take? Is it really worth your time? L. How long before I will start making money? If you ask yourself these questions, both in the beginning and along the way to evaluate, I am sure you will be able to figure out whether you would rather write books, sell products on eBay, or create a YouTube channel. All those methods have been beneficial to numerous people, but it's just about what you're good at and what works. For me, writing books was one of the best ways to get money online, as well as the jobs I got for translating and cartooning. Other helpful ways were drawing portraits and such, but those might not be the best things for you. It has to be worth your time, something you like to do at least a little, and something that is profitable enough. Thanks again for buying my book. If you have a minute, please leave a review. Disclaimer. This information is provided as is. The author, publishers, and/or marketers of this information disclaim any loss or liability, either directly or indirectly as a consequence of applying the information presented herein, or in regard to the use and application of said information. No guarantee is given, either expressed or implied, in regard to the merchantability, accuracy, or acceptability of the information. The pages within this ebook have been copyrighted. Introduction. Recently, I spoke to a young mother who was struggling with jobs. She had been out of work for 2 months and told me the tragic story of getting fired at a call center that only paid her $12 per hour. She mentioned that she had a life-saving surgery on some organs, and that her boss told her that if she wouldn't show up within a couple of days, she would lose her job. It reminded me of the days I had scraped up a few bucks here and there, working in warehouses, at the dump, and in factories, performing tedious tasks for power-hungry employers and managers and a low wage. I told her there is something better out there, that you can stay at home and determine your own hours as long as you work hard and smart. That there is something called the internet, which allows you to make money without the annoying factors of standard jobs. If you want something better in your life and you're not making money online yet, then consider looking over the suggestions in this book. Nowadays, location is nothing. Anywhere in the world that you have internet, there are opportunities to make money. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But then, what is the big secret? It's knowing how and through which websites and platforms to make money. In this book, I will do my best to provide you some valuable information and hopefully new information about how to make money online. I will spend 2 brief chapters on why making money online is the only way to go for me. I got spoiled. I wouldn't even want to have an actual 9-to-5 job anymore. And what pitfalls to avoid, like stressing out or changing your mindset. After that, I will go over some things that I know about and some things that have worked for me. As of this moment, I am making more than $5,000 per month profit with my online businesses, and 3 times that much in the months of November and December. I love it, and I wouldn't want to trade it for anything else. So don't wait. If you're not making money online yet, then start today. If this is new to you, a whole world will open up, and you'll never look at the world the same way again.